In the world of high-stakes leadership, the most powerful tool you possess is not your vocabulary, your charisma, or your technical expertise. It is the way you control time. Most leaders feel an immense pressure to fill every empty space in a conversation with words, fearing that silence equals a lack of knowledge or authority. No. The opposite is actually true. This video introduces a simple but transformative communication technique known as the 3-second rule. It is a method that focuses on strategic pauses and attention control to dramatically improve your authority and influence in any room. The 3-second rule is a commitment to intentionality. It suggests that before you respond to a question, before you transition to a new topic, or after you make a significant point, you wait for 3 full seconds. To the inexperienced leader, this feels like an eternity of awkwardness. But to the audience, those 3 seconds signal total confidence, deep reflection, and an absolute command of the environment. You aren't just talking. You are controlling the pace of the entire room. People listen differently when a leader controls the rhythm of a conversation. When you rush your sentences, you project anxiety and a subconscious need for approval. It feels like you are chasing the listener. But when you slow down and embrace the pause, the listener has to come to you. Silence creates a vacuum, and human nature dictates that we lean in to fill it. By holding that silence for 3 seconds, you ensure that when you finally do speak, your words carry 10 times the weight. Viewers must understand how timing influences group dynamics at a biological level. A strategic pause allows the listener's brain to actually process what was just said. Most communication is a blur of information that people forget seconds after hearing it. The 3-second rule creates mental anchors. It forces the audience to sit with your last statement, giving it the space it needs to settle into their long-term memory. You are literally engineering their focus. Let's look at real meeting situations to illustrate how this technique works in practice. Imagine a team member challenges your decision in front of the group. A typical reactive leader would jump in immediately to defend themselves, often before the other person has even finished speaking. This looks defensive and weak. Now, imagine a leader who hears the challenge, looks the person in the eye, and waits for 3 full seconds before saying a word. In that silence, the tension shifts from the leader back to the challenger. Those 3 seconds of silence achieve 3 things. First, they prove you aren't threatened. Second, they give you time to formulate a calm, logical response instead of an emotional one. And third, they make everyone else in the room stop and listen with total intensity to what you are about to say next. It transforms a potential confrontation into a moment of profound leadership. You have changed the emotional climate of the room without saying a single syllable. The video also emphasizes the critical role of body language during these pauses. If you are looking down at your feet or fidgeting with a pen, the silence will feel like you are stuck or confused. But if you maintain steady, relaxed eye contact and keep your posture open, the silence feels like calculated power. Your body language must tell the same story as your silence, that you are comfortable with the space, comfortable with the tension, and comfortable in your role as the leader. Clarity is a natural byproduct of the 3-second rule. When you force yourself to wait, you naturally filter out the filler words, the ums, ahs, and likes that dilute your message and reduce your professional credibility. The pause gives your brain the millisecond it needs to find the exact right word. As a result, your speech becomes cleaner, sharper, and much more persuasive. You stop being a person who just talks, and you start being a person who is worth listening to. Influence often comes more from how something is said than just the content of the message itself. We have all seen brilliant people with great ideas get ignored because they delivered them with high-pitched, rapid-fire anxiety. Conversely, we've seen leaders with simple ideas capture an entire organization because they delivered them with gravity and timing. The 3-second rule is the bridge between having a good idea and having a powerful impact. Another scenario where this rule is vital is during high-stakes negotiations or feedback sessions. When you deliver a difficult truth or a specific price point, the instinct is to soften the blow by talking more. The price is $50,000, and I say that because we have high overhead and our team is the best. This is a mistake. The professional way to lead is to state the fact. The price is $50,000. Then you wait. The person who speaks first after a significant point usually loses the leverage in the conversation. This technique also works wonders for group dynamics in a brainstorming session. When a leader asks a question and then immediately answers it themselves or calls on someone, they kill the collective creativity. By asking a powerful question and then waiting for a full 3 to 5 seconds, you create a productive tension. People will feel compelled to speak up just to break the silence. You are using the vacuum of silence to pull ideas out of your team that would otherwise stay hidden. Small communication adjustments like this increase your impact because they separate you from the noise of the modern world. We live in an age of constant, rapid-fire stimulation. Everyone is shouting, everyone is rushing, and everyone is desperate for attention. A leader who can stand still and be quiet is an anomaly. That rarity creates a natural gravity around you. People find themselves paying more attention to you simply because you aren't behaving like everyone else. The overall message is that mastery of communication is mastery of the gap between stimulus and response. The 3-second rule gives you back your power in that gap. It allows you to be the one who chooses the direction of the conversation rather than being a passenger in it. It is a daily practice of emotional control and situational awareness. You can also use this rule to improve your listening skills. Most people listen only so they can prepare their own rebuttal. By committing to a 3-second pause after someone finishes speaking to you, you prove that you actually heard them. You are signaling, what you said was important enough for me to think about for 3 seconds before I react. This is the highest form of respect you can show a team member, and it builds incredible loyalty. Imagine the compounding effect of this habit over a year of meetings, presentations, and one-on-one sessions. You will be perceived as more thoughtful, more confident, and significantly more authoritative. And the best part? It costs nothing. It requires no extra resources, just the discipline to be still for 3 seconds. For the video's viewers, the takeaway is clear. Start small. Don't try to do this in every sentence immediately. Pick one meeting tomorrow. Decide that every time someone asks you a question, you will count to 3 in your head before you answer. Watch the eyes of the people in the room. You will see them sharpen their focus. You will feel the shift in your own internal state as your heart rate slows down and your confidence rises. As a leader, you are always being watched. Your team is constantly looking to you for cues on how to feel and how to act. If you are rushed, they will be rushed. If you are reactive, they will be reactive. But if you are the one who can hold the silence, you give them the permission to be composed as well. You are leading through the rhythm of your presence. In the final analysis, the 3-second rule is about ownership. Ownership of your words, ownership of your time, and ownership of your role. It's about realizing that you don't have to earn your place in the conversation by talking fast. You own the conversation by being the one who dictates the pace. So, Padre, use this text to show your audience that sometimes the most important thing a leader can say is nothing at all. Let the silence do the work. Let the timing build the authority. And watch as the world begins to listen to you in a completely different way. Consistency in this practice will redefine your leadership brand. It will make your yes more powerful and your no more final. It will turn your advice into wisdom. All of this is waiting on the other side of a 3-second pause. Thank you for being the kind of leader who values the art of communication. The world has enough noise. What it needs are more leaders who know how to use silence to create clarity and trust. Start practicing the 3-second rule today and witness the dramatic shift in your influence tomorrow.